it can just be easy with the logistics of life to feel kind of like ships in the night or just feel like you're well-organized roommates.
Yeah.
And this really reminds you of like, okay, we're companions. We're married. Like we're husband and wife and not just runners of the home.
Hey, 1 Degree fam. I'm Nathaniel.
And I'm Zan. And this is the 1 Degree Podcast, where we talk about what it looks like to be married as followers of Jesus.
Look, we know that life gets full. Marriage, kids, work, church, sports, the list goes on and on. But we believe that a thriving marriage does not happen by accident.
Each episode will give you real conversations, practical tools, and biblical encouragement to help you connect deeply with your spouse and live on mission together.
So, whether you're folding laundry, driving to work, or maybe even working out, we're glad you're here with us.
Let's dive in.
What is up, 1 Degree fam?
What is up, fam? Welcome back to the comfy, cozy virtual couch or chair.
Yes, or chair. All right, silly story time for you. Kick it off. What were we?
So we were talking the other day. You were telling me a story from when you were a kid with a lemonade stand.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was talking about how, well, it was the day that the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina striking. That's what happened. And I was like, oh man, I remember that. Do you remember that? And he was like, no, I don't remember that at all, which is
I remember. Okay, no.
You remember it happening. You don't remember like where you were when Hurricane Katrina happened.
Yes.
I mean, not that it was this like single minute, but I was like, oh man, I remember because I remember having a follow-up lemonade stand after. You're like, you had a lemonade stand for Hurricane Katrina?
Benefit the victims of Hurricane Katrina.
I think I was quite a philanthropist because we got into, oh yeah, in 7th grade. Maybe this is the silly story actually. The 7th grade, my Mafusi.
Yes.
Do you know about that?
Yeah.
We had to do for my 7th grade global perspectives class. It was a group project and I don't remember the parameters, but I think essentially like you study some crisis or something around the world and present it to your class. And we did AIDS because I don't know, at the time that feels like the biggest thing. And so we did AIDS in Africa specifically, and there was some girl that we read her story, or like I think we went to a World Vision, one of those nights where you like walk through the, like you feel you're walking through the huts of Africa. They like really set it up all nice. Anyway, that's all. I'm not like mocking any of this, but we really got stuck on this girl's name Mafusi, and then we're like, we should start a nonprofit raising money for AIDS in Africa. I think it's all just so innocent, and that's maybe what I'm laughing at. Is like you think. And we should all keep this fire alive, but you really think you're going to make a difference in that just by like raising money, but as like a little, I mean, maybe that's how all the biggest organizations start. But anyway, so we started that. We made this was back not too long after the Live Strong bracelet craze. I feel like they still were hot, and we made Mafusi bracelets in large bulk. I'm just thinking, well, our parents were so supportive. Another girl in the project's dad was like in law and was talking to us about like setting it up as a 501. Was it 3C? What is a nonprofit
I think
classification?
it's 501 3C.
That sounds right. I don't even know if we got through with that, but we had multiple lemonade stands and things. And anyway, I was just really into all that stuff. I would say I was like maybe even less philanthropic as like entrepreneur. Like
and then with that, 7th grade Zan single-handedly ended 6th grade
Zan. The year before in my science
single-handedly
class.
ended AIDS.
No. Oh, that was 7th grade Zan.
Yes.
I thought we were getting into 6th grade.
No, 7th grade Zan. The 7th grade Zan single-handedly ended AIDS.
That's why you never hear about it anymore.
Zan.
6th grade Zan. Again, a group project. You just, there's room for accountability, people calling each other out, people like seeing your blind spots, but it just wasn't happening at that age.
And to be fair, weren't you in a school that went all the way up to high school? Like it wasn't just 6th. Yeah, it wasn't just 6th through 8th.
But the presentation of my 6th grade science was only to our middle school assembly.
Yeah.
Because it was like lower, middle, upper. And you would have assemblies on different days. Anyway, but my 6th grade, you had to come up with, it was like an invention. Classic, I feel like middle school science, that's the classic thing. You like go to the science fair for your inventions, whatever. Well, we invented oral juicy bubble gum. And I remember we were down on the, like it was a auditorium where it's like slanted down. And so we're standing down there in front of the stage and all the 8th graders were in the front area. And I remember everyone snickering and like talking to each other.
I wonder
Like,
why.
what did we miss? Why is everyone and I don't think anyone
Well,
explained
why
it
is
to us.
everyone laughing at our oral juicy
Why
bubble
did our
gum?
teacher, Miss Corrigan, man, that lady, why did she not, why'd she
Say
let us go?
something?
Because what happened is like your teacher chose like the top
Maybe
people.
she thought it was funny.
To clarify, it was bubblegum that had like fluoride. Oh, also ironic given my current takes. Anyway, it was like bubblegum that was good for your mouth, which wasn't that original because I think it probably already existed by then. But anyway, I don't know how you sum up past Stan. Well, I don't know that I'm different.
What was
honestly.
8th grade? What was it? So you had 7th grade or 6th
Well-
grade oral juicy bubble gum, 7th grade trying to end AIDS, 8th grade
Maybe I was too worried about like being cool in 8th
You, like,
grade.
trying to
more
go to the
tainted.
moon or something like that.
No, I think I lost that. I think I lost my. No, I didn't lose it. What am I saying? I can't remember 8th grade specifically, but I do remember in high school starting the unashamed movement,
Oh, yeah.
which was based on
Romans
Romans 1:16,
1:16.
and we would just write Romans 1:16. We had merch that we got made with like, I don't even know. We had a Facebook group. I still get notifications from
And
that Facebook.
If you're
I have so many
unfamiliar,
Facebook
if
groups
you're
that I
unfamiliar with Romans 1:16,
I
it
am
is
unashamed
ashamed of the gospel.
of Jesus Christ. The second part's about like Jews.
For it is the power of God for the salvation of all who believe. right?
I thought there was something else, like from Jews and Gentiles. The reason I think thought there was a second part, I could be wrong. Okay, you can look it up. It was also my senior quote in my textbook, or no, that's not what it's called, yearbook. Anyway, we used to go around with Post-its writing like unashamed 1:16 or Romans 1:16 written out or whatever and put them all over like Target and stuff. And I did this like really one of those cardboard testimony videos with people at Young Life.
Yeah. We're both right. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for the salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek or Gentile.
I remember that is I think I cut that part out in my senior quote because I could only have so many words.
Really
okay, so now to the episode that has absolutely nothing to do with any of these things.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about 5 simple ways to invest in your marriage this week.
It's going to be a rapid fire. It's just like one of those, everyone loves a good list to juice them up, you know?
Yeah.
This is a juice you up episode.
Juice, just like oral juicy bubble gum juiced up your mouth. so I can't. This episode is juiced up for you. Okay. So the first one, 5 simple ways.
I got a note in my phone. You got a note in your phone.
Yes, 5 simple ways to invest in your marriage this week. Number 1 is pray together. This is something that Zan and I have talked about before, but the statistics
all of
behind
these, spoiler alert, we probably talked about before.
Yeah, but the statistics behind praying together as a married couple are incredible. Like, if I forget, the average divorce rate is above 50% now for marriages in the US. If you're a Christian, it's still in the high 40s, I believe. If you are a married couple and you're Christian and you regularly pray together, it is less than 0.1%.
Yeah.
It is 1 or 0.01.
It might be 0.01.
It's 1 in, I believe it's 1 in 1,148. Like that number is in my head, but it's something like it is less likely than 1 in 1,000, which would be
0.01%.
So 0.08%.
Yeah, 0.087. So 0.09
or something like that. Like,
anyway,
yes.
Yeah. Point is, it is significantly less likely. I remember we found it out live on the podcast.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember where that sounds.
Like months ago.
Yeah, and you were like mind blown by that.
Yes, I was.
But,
and I think there are two things I just want to address really quick with this. Is like, number one, your primary objective shouldn't be like, oh, we're going to pray so we don't get divorced, right? Like, ultimately, if we are Christians and we're married and we are trying to pursue the Lord, like this, what did you just do? Because now it's really loud
That's
in my
why
ears.
I've been trying to
Why?
turn it up because it's quiet in my ears, but I forgot I'm turning up yours, not mine.
It's like, it's
I was
getting
like, is
very
this-
loud.
That's funny. I was like, I think this is broken, but I don't want to announce it right now. Okay, go on.
Anyway, so yeah, we shouldn't be just trying to be like, oh, I'm going to have a better marriage, like a me-centered focus to prayer. Like, that is not what we want to have. Like, that is a
Me- or-
side effect.
Or
a
human focus.
human,
Nice.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, a me-focused,
Yeah,
whatever.
like I want our marriage to last, so I'm going to pray.
Right, exactly. Like, ultimately, I think that praying together, like as a married couple that are both Christians, the goal should be to draw close to the Lord, both individually and collectively. And that's the purpose of praying together. And I think there's power in prayer and bringing requests before the Lord together. And then I think a natural side effect of that is just a healthier, stronger marriage.
And I think the reason that your marriage is healthier and stronger when you pray, I think there's lots of reasons for that, but you're obviously connecting on a spiritual level in order to share, either sharing ahead of time, hey, can you pray for this? Or just hearing what each other are saying
Yeah.
to the Lord. It's like, I'm not going to say if you're praying right, but the goal would be that you're praying very raw and genuine prayers and not just
Yeah.
like putting on a front. And so
It's not like, oh, we're praying together before we eat a meal.
yeah, you're not
like,
saying like the standard prayer for bless us food to the nourishment
of our bodies, amen. Or
Yeah.
come, Lord Jesus, be our guest.
Yeah, whatever the prayer is, you know, ideally you're having a conversation with the Lord and like casting your anxieties on him and
Yeah.
all of those things. And so that is going to be, that's intimate. That's very intimate. You
Yep.
wouldn't do that with a stranger without it being very, I mean, you could do it with a stranger, but it would obviously be a very significant thing. So that's the point. And also then just on a spiritual level, I think beyond the spiritual bond of that together, you're also welcoming the Holy Spirit into your relationship. Like you're asking for this Holy Spirit's like strength, and obviously that is more powerful than anything that we can do in our own capacity for a marriage.
I would say if you don't know where to start, because it's just like, oh, this is kind of weird, awkward. I've never prayed with my spouse before.
Or maybe
Like,
there's different spiritual maturities there.
yeah, it doesn't need to be hold on.
It felt like you were holding something in.
Excuse me, sorry. It doesn't need to be some grand, like, I don't know, some grand event when you pray together. I would encourage you that it doesn't need to be long. It doesn't need to be some big formal thing. It can be short, sweet, to the point. I would just seek to make it genuine. Like, what are the things that are really burdening you? What are the things that you want to bring to the Lord together? And that doesn't need to be longer than a couple of minutes or even 30 seconds. And I personally, if you don't know where to start, I personally love the ACTS model of prayer, which is adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication. Supplication is lifting up others in prayer. And that's something that you could even do just really briefly with your spouse, of like, pick one way that you want to essentially praise the Lord for who he is, his character. That is adoration. Confession, is there one thing that each of you can confess and ask for the Lord's forgiveness? And then thanksgiving, blessings that the Lord has given to you specifically, whether that be a healthy family, whether that be the house that you live in, the cars that you drive, something you're genuinely thankful to the Lord for. And then supplication, who is someone in your life that you can be praying for? And then burdens of your own that you can be lifting up to.
The typical prayer request that you think of,
Yeah.
I think you would say is supplication.
So that's the first one. Pray together.
Correct. Number 2, have an uninterrupted conversation. So no phones, no multitasking, just whatever that looks like. Sit on the couch and simply force yourselves to just talk. I mean, obviously, if you have children, this is probably going to have to be post bedtime, early morning, something like that. If you're going to have an uninterrupted conversation, this might be the hardest on the list, you know, if you have like little kids. But I think this is something worth making time for because one, we're so, even just on a maybe societal level. I don't know if that's really the word for it, but like we're so stimulated that sitting down and just talking to somebody without like it being a meeting and having a laptop in front of us, or it being something where I don't know, it's discipline, I feel like, to not have a screen or something like that. And then I would say beyond the, "Hey, how was your day?" type thing, like, ask some of those deeper questions of, like, "What have you been thinking about lately?" Like, what has been burdening you lately?"
Yeah.
Have those deeper heart questions. I feel like something I ask you a lot is, "What are you contemplating?" Like, in
Yeah.
times where I feel like you're thinking about something, I'm quick to make people tell me what they're thinking about.
And I would say, obviously, one thing we've touched about on this, but having a high-low buffalo, having that touch point every single day, like a brief, uninterrupted touch point where you can have that conversation of best part of the day, worst part of the day, something random that happened, something funny that happened, something that they learned. Having that touch point every single day is so helpful. And so this is just kind of an extension of that, have an everyday touch point with high-low buffalo, and that can be part of this uninterrupted conversation that you're having, because like Zan said, we are so stimulated, we're so used to just having distractions around us, and honestly sometimes it's hard at first to be like, oh man, like this is kind of uncomfortable. I don't have a phone that I can look at if there's 5 seconds of awkward silence, or I don't have something that I can just jump to or be doing if there's this awkwardness. But like embracing that awkwardness helps you build deeper connections.
Yeah. And I think it's just so easy, even take apart the like phone addiction or phone integration part of it. It can just be easy with the logistics of life to feel kind of like ships in the night, or just feel like you're well organized roommates.
Yeah.
And this really reminds you of like, okay, we're companions. We're married, like we're husband and wife, and not
Yeah.
just runners of the home and all of
Uh,
that. So number
So number
3.
1, pray together. Number 2, have an uninterrupted conversation together. Number 3, express appreciation for your spouse every time you think of something. And Zan and I have talked about this before, but this idea, I think, was it literally the last episode that we did?
Yeah, I mean, we did a whole episode on stop taking your spouse
for granted and being grateful for your spouse. But like ungratefulness breeds discontentment. And so seek to be someone who is grateful for your spouse, looking for things you're grateful for, and then expressing that verbally, whether it be something as simple as, hey, I noticed you unloaded the dishwasher, and maybe your spouse normally does the dishes and you kind of take that for granted, but like seek to look for things that you're grateful for with them, and then voice that thing,
Yeah, I've talked about the whole see something, say something. It's like if you think a kind thing about somebody, we try to do this in our life in general, even beyond our marriage. It's like, okay, if we saw that somebody did something really well, or we respect something about somebody, like go out of your way to call them or text them and say that, because you never know.
If you're like saying something positive behind someone's back, like that should be an encouragement that I should say this to them, whether that be text, phone call, something like that.
And it could sometimes feel awkward if like it's a new level in a friendship or relationship to verbally affirm them in that way. But I think the more we get in the habit of it, it's just no one gets a text and is like, oh, this is super weird. Why would they do this? Everyone, even if they don't know how to respond because we're awkward at receiving compliments, like they're grateful you told them. So back to marriage. Do that in your marriage.
Number 4.
Okay, let me do the Nathaniel recap. 1, pray together. 2, have an uninterrupted conversation. 3, express appreciation every time you think of something. And number 4, do something fun or watch something funny together. Can I take this one?
You got it. There is one thing that Zan likes to do
that you wouldn't expect from me.
That you would not expect from her.
Like if you saw all of my daily tasks and habits in general, this one just stands out as like, this doesn't belong. But I love to just brain rot and scroll for like a set amount of time together and be like, okay, for the next 10 minutes, can we just lay here and watch funny things that I've saved? Or like, and
it's not often. It's like maybe once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is very rare. It's definitely not like a nightly wind down thing by any means. Because we just, the reason I said that it stands out is like, I don't watch any TV. We don't watch TV. Like
We watch a little of sports. That's
It's not
about it.
like we're better than you thing. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say we physically don't have the time, but everyone says they're busy. Anyway, that's not our thing. And yeah, I think it's just so funny. And the other night, a week ago
It
or
was
something?
last Saturday night.
It was, it was a weekend. And I was like, I have some really funny stuff that I had sent. And I think we did it for like almost an hour.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally, it's like the same duration as an episode, but it felt like we had wasted half our life. But also, it was so funny. Some of the stuff, it was like, you get to the point where you're like, the internet can just be so funny. Anyway, it can also have a lot of bad sides. But I think it's very unifying to laugh together. I also think science says that. I'm just laughing because the other episode I was like, it's scientifically true.
It's scientifically true. I don't have a study to quote.
There is.
I just know it.
It is.
Believe me.
It was probably the same thing
The
because
science
it's that
of
idea
Zan.
of like serotonin and all those good hormones. Like when you secrete them together, it's like bonding.
But so have something that you do together, whether that be a hobby or something fun, or whether it be something funny that you're watching and you can just laugh together. You know, maybe it's a TV show you have, and it doesn't need to be something that's every night or a wind down, but just something that you do together that's fun or funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It does not have to be consuming something either. It's like maybe you guys just think it's really funny to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just laugh together.
This didn't make the list, and I kind of included this in number 2 about having an uninterrupted conversation, but I would encourage you that you should have a daily touch point, 2 minutes, like every single day. Zan and I do this through Hilo and Buffalo. You've probably heard us talk about this before, but this is like almost like a brief interruption from our official list of 1 through 5 to bring you this honorable mention before we get to number 5.
4 point.
Is we do Hilo Buffalo. What was the best part of your day? What was the worst part of your day? And then what was something random, something funny that happened, something that you learned. Hilo Buffalo. You can do that we do that on a daily basis, but then we also do Hilo Buffalo of the week. And so I would just encourage you to have a daily touch point with your spouse, something meaningful that, like Zan was saying, in the midst of busyness, in the midst of the ships in the night, that you're able to connect and have a brief moment of connection every single day.
And I would say, apart from military deployment, you can do this in pretty much every season. Even if you are working opposite shifts, like you can call each other for 5 minutes to have that conversation. Like you can make this a priority, and it does make a difference. I would say.
So then number 5, take it away.
Number 5, if we sound like broken records, it's on purpose. Start having a weekly marriage meeting if you have not already. We can't emphasize that enough because it truly is the most pivotal habit that we have in our marriage. I would say if we're going to that keystone habit idea of this one thing impacts all our other habits within our marriage, it is having a weekly marriage meeting. And that's going to be, for us, it's on Sunday night. We have a sit down time, or sometimes we'll be doing like, let's clean up the kitchen while we start doing it. For like the first half when we're just going over the questions. But we go through a list of questions. We have like a free template that we give you with like all the things that you can download exactly what we talk about. I'll put that in the show notes, or in the description. But we go through all the questions. Again, it's talking about our high of the week, the low of the week, our buffalo of the week, and which I think is great to force you to reflect on your week because it's so easy to go through a week and then just on to the next one, and it's good to think back of like what good did happen this week, what did I struggle with this week. Anyway, how we served each other well, how we can serve each other better, how our relationships with the Lord are. So there's this accountability piece of like, hey, have I been in scripture? Hey, have I felt close? Have I been pursuing prayer? All of those types.
Financial stewardship, sexual intimacy, like everything, We're
going through, like, you're hitting things that might and most likely won't naturally come up in conversations throughout the week. And it serves so many purposes. It, 1, serves that deeper connection. 2, it helps you avoid conflict by speaking the things that ultimately could bubble up.
And it naturally allows a time for bringing things up. Like sometimes it can be hard, like, oh man, like how do I bring up this maybe awkward topic about money? Or how do I bring up this awkward topic about sex? Like,
or if like the budget conversations are triggers in your marriage, it's like, okay, well, we have this set time so
where we talk about it.
And there's an expectation that it's going to be talked about.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. That is for sure our number 1. You can start small, but just going through a list of questions. We'll start with a high-low buffalo if like you're really easing into things, and then start with going through a list of questions. And then we go through a list of questions, and then we have a goal for each season of life. So, 4 to 6 months, 4 to 6 weeks. It depends
Yeah.
on what it is. But we have a goal, and then we have like broken down what we're going to do to achieve that goal. And we check in with that every
Yes.
single week. So the goal might be.
And our mission statement. Like we do it with our short-term goals, and we do it with our mission statement and our values.
If we're actually going through this, we go through the questions, we do our mission statement, then we go through our core values and how we're living up to those. So hospitality, faithful,
financial stewardship. Yep.
All of the things
spiritual disciplines. Yeah.
All of the things that we have as our core values. And we say, okay, 1 to 5, how was this week? It sounds really tedious, but it's quick and we're used to doing it.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, what was clearly lacking this week? Like we're going to pick one of those, and that's going to be our intentional, like we're going to work on this week.
Yeah.
We're going to be mindful of pursuing this because we set out as a family to value this. We set out as this is our trajectory of what we want to be. So we need to come back to that and we need to make adjustments accordingly. And then we have that seasonal goal and that short-term goal that we're looking at in the habit. So at one point, one of the more recent ones was getting the house to a place where we have everything that has a place and we have a system for everything. And it was like, okay, so we're going to have to go through this room. We're going to have to do this room.
Yep.
And so we checked in on how those things were going. Anyway, have a weekly marriage meeting. Number 5.
Yeah. Most transformational thing we've ever done in our marriage.
For sure.
Yep.
So quick wrap up for you and then send you on your way to go choose your own adventure. But number 1, pray together. Number 2, have an uninterrupted conversation. Number 3, or a high-low buffalo check-in. No. That was 4.5. But it was a subcategory of that.
Yeah.
Number 3, express appreciation every time you think of something. Number 4, do something fun or watch something funny together.
4.5.
4.5, have a high-low buffalo, have a check-in every day.
Daily check-in.
And 5, weekly check-in. Start having your weekly marriage meeting.
Yes.
Get the template. If you need to get the template, do it.
And that's what I'd say. If we have a 1 degree shift for you, we beat this over the head so much. But the other week we put out like a Q&A or a question box, and we said like, oh,
on
how many
Instagram,
people
felt so disappointed.
No, but like, and this isn't a call out. This isn't meant to be, right? Like most people do not do this, but we put out a question of like, how many of you have started doing weekly marriage meetings? And the vast majority of people had not.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, these are the people that they've probably heard it if they're watching our story. I was like, oh man, for me, it's just that reminder of like, this is why we keep saying it. It's like at least we believe in it because we're not going to stop talking about it.
My 1 degree shift that I would say for you is to start having a weekly marriage meeting. And if you're already doing that, great. Then pick one of these other 5 things on the list.
And if you have hesitations about it, listen to our episode on why you should start having a weekly marriage meeting. I think it's called like the number 1 something. I don't know. Scroll back a little bit. I'll link in the show notes. But I think we go over a lot of the common hesitations or spouse hesitations.
There's like the number 1 transformational thing we did in our marriage.
That's right. You gotta get those compelling titles, SEO and stuff like that. Clickbait. All right. Love you, 1 degree fam. Catch you next week.
Thanks for tuning in for this episode of the 1 Degree Podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'd be so appreciative if you take just a few seconds to leave a rating and a quick review. We love to hear your feedback, and those ratings really do help make it easier for others to find this podcast.
And if you want to continue this chat or share your takeaways, we'd love to hear from you. Head on over to our Instagram at the 1 Degree Podcast and leave a comment or send us a DM. We can't wait to hear from you. Catch you next week, 1 Degree fam.